All right, just making sure we're not messing up this time because we're doing this recording again because I, of course, messed up as I had my microphone muted the entire time throughout the recap that I just recorded. So we're going to try this again. Take two here. Mets win, baby, 10-1 over the Chicago Cubs. Of course, a game that I couldn't watch in its entirety because that's just naturally the way that it goes. The good games I just can't watch. And I do apologize that I couldn't end up doing the live play-by-play game. I wanted to do that with CJ tonight, but we both ended up being busy. So just unfortunately the way it goes. But a way better performance from the Mets in tonight's action, especially considering the fact that when we heard that Hendricks was announced on the bump instead of Jameson Taillon, it got a little more worrisome that things might have got out of hand and things would have went bad. But thankfully, the Mets ended up cruising along in this game, and there is a lot to talk about that is good in this one outside of certain guy hitting and playing DH that shouldn't, and the rookie should be playing. Mark Vientos, that is, instead of Daniel Vogelback. Anyway, Jose Reyes would agree with me probably as well, as he was flaming on Twitter. But I'm sort of reacting to this game myself, so let's go along and get into it. Before we do, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when we upload or go live next on the channel. We are trying to become the #1 Mets channel here on YouTube, so any support would be appreciated. But let's kick this off as Brandon Nimmo kicked things off with a leadoff single. And then you have Francisco Lindor line out. McNeil and Alonso would get back-to-back walks, and Brett Baty would get a sacrifice fly to center to make it a 1-0 game. Marte would get a force out there. He would ground into one, and that's the end of the inning. So the Mets getting a nice little early run for Carlos Carrasco for the inevitable first inning run that he gives up as Hoerner grounds out. And then, yeah, there it is. Dansby Swanson hits a home run to left center field to make it a 1-1 ball game. Happ would line out. Suzuki singles. Tauchman grounds out. We go to the top of the second where the Mets go down in order. 2 strikeouts back-to-back from Vogelback and Canna, and then Alvarez would fly out. Bottom of the second, Morel with a pop-out. Mervis with a strikeout, and then Wisdom pops out. We go to the top of the third where Nimmo would strike out to lead things off. Lindor would fly out, but the Mets had some 2-out magic up their sleeves, something that we have not seen in a pretty decent amount of time. Also, I completely forgot to mention, I'll mention it after, but McNeil with a single, Alonso with a single after that, and Brett Baty would get a single where he's able to advance the second on, but that made it a 2-1 ball game as that brought in the runners. Marte then would get an RBI single as well, and that cleared the bases to make it a 4-1 ball game. Then he would end up stealing a base, and Vogelback strikes out because, of course, bottom of the third, Yan Gomes grounds out. Nico Hoerner with a single. Swanson would fly out. Happ with a single. Suzuki with a walk. And then Tauchman would ground out. So a little bit more of a shaky inning for Carlos Carrasco, but still gets out of it. Top of the fourth, the Mets go down in order, that being Canna, Alvarez, and Nimmo. We go to the bottom of the fourth where Morel would strike out. Mervis with a walk, and then Wisdom with the force out, and Gomes would fly out. Top of the fifth, Lindor strikes out to lead things off. McNeil gets himself a single. Alonso gets hit by a pitch. Brandon Hughes comes in the pitch then for Kyle Hendricks after that. So the Mets got to Hendricks early, which is nice. And they end up going for the double steal, and Yan Gomes would have a throwing error. So a run comes in. That makes it a 5-1 ball game. Baty would strike out, and then Marte would ground out. So an opportunity to blow the game open even more, which sucks because the Mets won 10-1. Sure, I should be grateful, but it's crazy how much of an opportunity they could have really, really kicked their teeth. And I know they did, but this could have easily been a 20-run ball game for the Mets because, my God, they had opportunity after opportunity. But then in the bottom of the fifth, the Cubs would go down in order from Hoerner, Swanson, and Happ. Michael Rucker comes in the pitch for the Cubs. He walks Vogelback. Canna would ground out. Alvarez with a single, and then Nimmo would strike out to get out of the inning there for Rucker. Bottom of the sixth, the Cubs go down in order from Suzuki, Tauchman, and Morel. Top of the seventh, Lindor with a leadoff ground out. And then finally, when I could watch the game, McNeil hits a single, and Pete Alonso, the hump man himself, hits himself an opposite field home run to make it a 7-1 ball game. So that was nice to see. Glad I got to at least catch that. Baty then strikes out. Marte then with a ground out. We go to the bottom of the seventh where Mervis would ground out. Wisdom would ground out. Beautiful little defensive play by Brett Baty, an underrated one that is too. But Yan Gomes would then get a single off of Brett Baty's glove. So good defense leads to a little bit of shaky defense. But Carrasco was at 100 pitches, so they end up taking him out for Adam Ottavino, who walks Nico Hoerner, but gets Swanson the ground out. We go to the top of the eighth, where Vogelback would lead things off with a single. Canna strikes out. Alvarez, who I freaking love, hits a double. He needs to hit higher in the lineup. Brandon Nimmo then would hit a triple to clear the bases to make it 9-1. And then Lindor says, let me add myself an RBI single to make it 10-1. So all of a sudden, the Mets just absolutely explode for offense. McNeil ends up lining out. Alonso would walk. Assad has to come in the pitch. He strikes out Beatty. Hunter comes in the pitch for Ottavino, and he gets into a bit of trouble. He gets Rios to line out, but Suzuki would get a single. Tauchman walks, but then he gets the next 2 outs fairly easily. We go to the top of the 9th where Marte gets a leadoff single. Tucker Barnhart, by the way, is in the pitch, and the guy couldn't even throw 40 miles an hour. Vientos pops out. Canna with a single. Alvarez and Nimmo with back-to-back outs. A little sad that they couldn't hit off of Tucker Barnhart, but it is what it is. At least they won the game, so I won't be mad. Then the Cubs would go down in order. A pair of strikeouts from Tommy Hunter, and then a ground out to end the inning. So the Mets end up holding on and winning this game very easily. 10-1 is the final score. 15 hits for the Mets, 6 for the Cubs. Very, very huge, and nice to see the Mets explode that much for hits after having only 4 in the last game. No errors for the Mets, 2 for the Cubs. Love to see it. Your winning pitchers, Carrasco. Your losing pitcher is Hendricks, of course. So let's talk about this. I do want to see, though, how Carlos Carrasco did. I would like to see a little bit of a breakdown of how the start went, because I, of course, couldn't really watch it. I only got to watch really an inning of his work. His velocity was a tad up, not anything crazy, but a tad up, which is good to see. Spin was down on his changeup and fastball, but up on his curveball and slider, which is interesting as well, considering those pitches he used the least. But not horrendous. 20 or 10 whiffs on 45 swings for a 22% whiff rate. I mean, he was okay, but he ended up getting, he got by and he gave what we needed. He gave what we needed. So I'm not going to complain. But let's talk about the lineup, though, which exploded and did wonders, did miracles on us tonight. Brandon Nimmo, 2 for 6. A lot of at-bats, you could have said, oh, he should have got another hit, but I'm not going to complain. 2 strikeouts, which is ugly, but he ends up getting 2 RBIs with that triple. Yeah, Brandon Nimmo, not too bad of a day. Lindor, 1 for 5 with an RBI and a strikeout. Not too bad there either. So I'm really not going to complain in general. Jeff McNeil or Pete Alonso, definitely the best when it came to the offense today. Jeff McNeil, 3 for 4 with a walk. Very, very productive day for Jeff McNeil. Very happy to see that from him, as he was out of the lineup. Was it 2 games ago or last game? I don't remember, but good to see Jeff McNeil have a day like that. Pete Alonso, 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs from the home run and 2 walks. A very productive day for Pete Alonso as well. Happy with that. Brett Beatty, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Struck out 3 times. Very ugly there, but I'll take the 2 RBIs on that 1 hit that he got. I'll take that. Marte, 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Not too bad either from Starling Marte. Yeah, I'm not going to complain. And then Daniel Vogelbach ended up going 1 for 3, walked once, 2 strikeouts. Meh. Mark Canha, 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Meh. Alvarez, 2 for 5. Needs to be hitting higher in the lineup. It's just that simple. And Nito came in to the game later on. Escobar as well for Lindor, but not too bad there. 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Not awful. 9 left on total. Pretty good for the offense. Pretty good. Not too bad. I mean, 10 runs, it's okay. But regardless, again, they had an opportunity really to, like I said, make this a 20-run ball game. So you could nitpick all you want, but still, the fact that they got that many runs, I'm not complaining. Carlos Carrasco, though, bravo. 6 2/3 of an innings of work. 1 earned run ball, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Not a lot of strikeouts. I'll have 5 hits. A little bit of a weird start. He definitely got into some trouble and got a bit bailed out at times, but I'll take it. I'll take what we got from Carlos Carrasco. He's a 5th, 6th starter anyway at this point. We take the small victories here. Adam Ottavino only faced 1 batter. 2 batters, actually. He walked one of them and then got the out on the other. It's okay. And then Tommy Hunter, decent work. Allowed a hit, allowed a walk, but got 2 strikeouts and didn't make things too chaotic to end the game, which is all we could ask for here. But since I didn't watch the game, I don't really have many other thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you did watch the game, would love to hear more of an more in-depth thoughts of the game from you guys in the comments. So let me know down below something that I may have missed in the game that was crucial. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when we upload or go live next. And I will see you in the next one. Let's go, Mets.